Okay, back on these two knuckle motors here. So we got the 47 motor here, which is the Harley one, and we got the 46 one over here, which is the fake one. So this one here, the distributor does not match, doesn't fit in the case. So when you put this in there, and you put the stock distributor in here, like that, they lock up. So this is just supposed to drop right down and turn nice and freely, and it's not even close to going down. It does not go down at all. So I need to figure out what the difference is between this one here and this one here. Now before I figured it was about 18 or 20 thou off on the whole location. It needs to go that way. That's what I thought last time. So now I got this case here all machined up. What I need to do is put the two shafts back in here so I can work on it. Okay, so now let's see if it works. Bushings are a little loose. Not bad enough they have to be replaced, but wouldn't hurt if they were. Alright, so this should just go right in there and work just fine. Like that. Look at that. It's almost like it's made for it. Excuse me. So we have that much free play. So that means it can be tightened up with a couple thou without hurting anything. Okay, here's the repop one. Now this is a brand new gear. It's almost as loose as the old one. Yeah, just about as loose. You can hear the play. It's about the same. So we know it's not the gear that's different. If anything, it's a little tighter. Okay. So we know that's not the problem. The next thing we want to look at is how much engagement we're getting. So that's how far down the distributor is to here. So the measurement we're going to make is from this washer to here. We just need to know how close it is to that. So if I take something flat laying there, like one of my parallel blocks over here, I should be able to tell what we have. There's one right here, it'll be fine. Doesn't have to be super fancy, just look at it. So if you come on perpendicular to the surface, that's called 90 degrees to it, you can see that we got about 25 thou clearance in there maybe. Okay, I know there's one of these that's thicker than this one. So let's go get the thick one. There's the thick one. Right there. These were never ground to factory surface finish. They were finished. Okay, so you put that one in there at 90. Oop. Basically it's at 0. We're hitting, I just shoved this all the way in and we're straight on it. So that's pretty accurate. Okay, now we take this one over here, which we know is made wrong. Put in there like that. It's all the way in. We do the same stunt. And you can see it's 30 thou deeper than it should be. It's cut deeper. See how it moves it? See, that's not perpendicular, it's way over there, it should be straight. Perpendicular's over here. So we're off by that thickness there, which is about 25, 30 something. So we know they cut the case too deep. Okay. So next thing we want to do, we want to measure the distance between the gear teeth, and that'll tell me how much this thing's too close. Because we have this dimension right here, and we'll take it out and put it over here, and that should tell me what we got to deal with. So we need some precision measuring tools. So those are called drill bits. One of these. They are the same, they are lots of different diameters and very accurate. That's what's known as a measuring device. Quick, simple, and I have lots of thicknesses. Okay, so right now we're roughly about not quite a 1/4 inch. But probably more than this. Nope, we're less than that. Okay, so now we're going to be in the small drill bit here. So now it's just a matter of pulling one of these out until it fits. And see, we're off by quite a bit. So I'm going to do 2 hands go quicker than one on this project. So go like this here. See what I'm playing with. Over here will work a little better. Alright. Still not quite right. Drop down the next row. Oh, we have a winner. That's it right there. It's a little bit less than what this one is. A little bit more than this one. That'll be the one that's missing. 182 thou. So we have 180 and 185. We're in between. So 182 is close enough. See the number there? So you know what they are. Okay. So we know we need something between 180 and 185. We know it could be a little bit closer. It could be a little bit of backlash in there. So we probably could run a, probably 180 would work. Okay, so now I'm going to try this case here. I'm going to do the same trick. So you come up with. So first thing I'm going to do is take the 180 and try that. It's not even beginning to go in that hole. Too close. Let's drop down a few of these. Okay, that trying to go in, but not quite. Let's go all the way down to that one. It goes in, but it's close. Closer. We got some clearance in this, so that's what we're measuring right now. So it's less than that because it's bumping it away. Definitely not that one. Okay, so it's the third one up. This one right here, 21 drill. 159, 157 was loose. So basically that's 160, it's 22 thousandths off. There's a little bit of flux in here because the shaft is loose in here. Very precision fit. There's that one, so something around 22 thou. We had the 180 went in loose, 185 was tight, so we're figuring 182. This one here we're doing 180. 159 goes in and 161 is tight. So 159 was the one I think was dragging, and the 157 was loose. So this one's 59. So that's basically about 23 thousandths air. So this hole needs to be moved over 23 thousandths away from the shaft, so this will drop in like it's supposed to. Now if we tighten it up a couple of thou, it would take out some of that backlash. If we go too much, then it's going to be a tight fit rotating on it. So how much you want to push the backlash. The more backlash you got, the more the distributor is uneven. You know, it's got, when you go on and off the throttle, the ignition time will vary quite a bit. So if we go off the 80 thousandths number, that's 21 thou. If we go off the 82 number we think it is, it's 23 thou. So something like 22 is a good medium number to use. Like I said, I figured it was around 20. I thought maybe 18. Nope, looks like it's going to be 20 to 22. So that's how much we need to move the hole. Now if I want to make a 20, we'll tighten up 2 thou. That might be too much to make it work. But this with this gear, I don't know what gear distributor we're going to use. If we're going to use one of my shelves, then we'll have to use valves. So you should use whatever you're going to use. So we are not going to be using what he used before, because the one he had before was garbage. They ground the piss out of it, and I think I threw it in a dumpster already. It's over in a junk pile, I think. There's some box like one of these. There it is. So they ground this whole thing way down to make it loose enough that it would fit, would bend over enough that you can make it work. See how loose that is? So there's no centering on that. Look how bad that is. That's what they did to make it work. Bunch of morons. I don't think we have anything else we're going to use out of that box. So I got to find out what distributor we're going to use for him. I'm going to use one of mine or one of his. This is another one of mine. This one here is 49 style. So this is the later distributor. This is a dual point, so this is 61. It's got 2 points on it. This is a dual point distributor. Won't be using that. That's a dual point hat. See, 2 points. Goes on this base, but this is a single point base. This is a knucklehead base because there's no notch in it for this style here. This would be the stop here that goes. They have a notch cut in here, and that goes in a notch, and that's how much you can advance retard it. This is a full round distributor, so this takes the band style that has an external stop. So this is the knucklehead base. So I don't know if he wants to use knucklehead parts on the knucklehead or 48 style distributor where it had the 47 and 48 had the late style plate right here. This style adjuster, but had the early point. And then the 49, they came out with that whole thing being a single point version of that, but the late style. So I have some 47, 48 parts. This case is marked as being 46. So technically it would take this distributor, but it's not an original project, so we'll have to see. This one here's a 47 case, so it would be taking the 47.8 distributor. So if it was stock. It doesn't really matter as long as it fits, you know, they all interchange in and out, so it doesn't matter which one you use. It just matter, you have to put all the parts in it for the correct year to make it work correctly. But that does not work. So that's what minus 20,000 does for you. And it should put a shim under here too, or a couple thick gaskets to move it up to make it, keep it on the gear. See, it's so deep in there. It's almost running into the washer here. It's in so deep. And it's not on. It's way past the gear teeth. So if you put the gear right in the middle, there. It looks like it should center, but it's in the center of the gear. But when this is so close to it, it was definitely getting into it. This one here is a little above center, I guess. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit below center. This is lower than the center point of the gear. So this is 30 thou higher than this one, so this case is cut too deep. Now this is even with the deck, so that means they cut this deck too deep also? Or the relationship of all these gears are too high? These are all unknowns. When you're making a case, all of these numbers can be off. And when things are off, you have problems. So even though these copy cases look good, they ain't always that good. So these old crappy Harley cases, parts seem to fit together. I know for some reason. I've never had one that didn't fit together. So I don't know why they couldn't make this accurate enough to make it fly. So, but anyway, this hole is going to have to be moved toward the generator at least 20 thousandths, if not 22. So I'll have to make a bushing sleeve in here and move it over and put a sleeve in there. And that will move it over. And then the bolt holes would be off, so you have to slot the holes out in the distributor 20 thousandths to fix that problem, which is going to get pretty thin on the one side. But we're not moving the bolt hole over. So I'm not sure how you, or it's going to rotate like this as you go over. And this one here will be way off center. Otherwise, I have to plug these two holes up, move them over, and retap and drill them, but it's only moving over 20 thou. That's going to be a problem. So I'll probably want to just slot in the distributor. We're only using one hole. Or use one hole on the outside and slot the piss out of this hole over here. And you just cut the whole side of one side away, which might be the easier way of doing it. And then this one here will follow the air as you go that way. It'll basically be like that, so we'll move over. It'll still work and look stock, and then the back one will be the one that's all modified. That'd probably be the way we're going. But anyway, that's what the problem is, so good old import stuff made wrong. Yeah, this duplicated stuff. It looks the part, but we don't know. Now, here's the good part. Where's the other case at? That goes over in Tech guys over in Germany said that they didn't make this case because it was all screwed up. It wasn't them. So there's three manufacturers that make cases like this. So there's the name. That says Moto Technique in it. Moto Technique. So, does that mean they're lying that they didn't make this case? And there's three other manufacturers? I only know one, them. Or did somebody stamp their name in here to pass it off as their case? That's kind of what I think they're claiming. They're claiming they didn't make this. I've only seen one case from over there, so I'm going for these guys made it and they screwed up. But, you know, whatever. I don't really care because I still have to fix it. It doesn't matter who made it. I gotta fix it. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to fix it. So do you believe these guys actually made it, or do you think somebody else made it? I don't know. I don't have no set here to look at, but if they have the same casting numbers on the inside here, I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did it. These manufacturers like to lie. It's never their fault. Never. Oh well, I think Moto Technique made these. They screwed up. And that's what it is. It is what it is. Fix it and move on. Alright, well there you go. More project.